Good morning, everyone. I know it's been a while, but I'm back on the scene. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more today about gross vehicle weight rating and how it applies to truck campers and truck combinations. So here on my 2022 Palomino HS 750, almost said Lance, but anyway, you can see here the data tag says that camper weight is 1,870 pounds maximum when it contains standard equipment. 21.5 gallons of water, 17 pounds of bottled gas, and 5 cubic feet refrigerator or icebox. Now keep in mind that that 1,870 pounds does not include any options such as my motors, my electric jack motors, you probably remember from a previous video. The awning, for example, and also the air conditioning. So those are just a few of the other options I opted for when I purchased the camper. And that does not include the, that weight doesn't include our tie-down system, our torque lift tie-downs, fast gun turnbuckles. So all that equipment we add to the truck is going to detract from the gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds. Now you can always find this information, at least for Ford anyway, find this information on the driver's door jamb. And you notice it says here, the combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed 3,375 pounds. And I know I went over a lot of this information on one of my other videos regarding the gross vehicle weight rating. But keep in mind that any option you add to the camper, of course, adds to that 1,870 pound weight. And that's a general figure that comes from the factory, Palomino factory. It means a standard camper, bare bones, no options. But of course, like I said, I opted for the electric jacks, air conditioning, solar panel, that's another one. Not that it weighs that much, but it does add to the weight of the camper. So when we're talking about payload, we have to remember that this truck frame was built for 10,000 pounds maximum. That's the gross vehicle weight rating. And of course, we have some axle weight rating here too. Front gross axle weight rating of 4,800 pounds and a rear gross axle weight rating of 6,340 pounds. So what I'm going to do today is drive on down to the cat scales at the local truck stop just down the road from my house here in Fort Worth and see what she weighs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the water tank empty. I'm going to go ahead and fill the fuel tank and get an idea of where I'm at. Because at that point, we know that when I fill the water tank, water, of course, weighs a little over 8 pounds a gallon, and it's a 21-gallon tank. And I rarely travel with it full. I usually just fill it up at the campsite, or I just connect to the city water connection. But so once we get a base idea of where we're at as far as the weight of the camper and truck, of course, I'm going to bring my girlfriend along, so we'll have 2 occupants. We'll have a full tank of gas. We'll have the camper with the water tank empty, but a full propane tank. And at that point, we can kind of get a pretty good idea of where we're at. So once we get a full weight, and the cool thing about the cat scales is that they'll weigh the front axle, the rear axle, and they'll also give you a combined weight. So you get a pretty good idea where you're at. So without further ado, let's head on down to the cat scale. See you down there. Okay, everyone, we're out here at Fuel City, and we're about to drive up on the cat scales, certified scales. And the process is pretty easy. You just go inside, tell them what you're gonna do, and apparently there's a button, PA button you press on the control pad there. You'll talk to the individual inside and they get you set up and they'll turn the scales on. So we'll see how that goes. Probably encounter a glitch or two there somewhere. But anyway, so I just filled up the gas tank. Got my girlfriend Danielle with me. So there's a couple of occupants. And like I said earlier, I left the water tank in the camper empty. And because you can always figure out, water weighs about a little over 8 pounds a gallon. So you can kind of get a good idea on how much a full tank, 21-gallon tank is going to weigh. So I think this will give us a good baseline. We have a full tank of gas, a couple of occupants, camper with all the options that I've got. Like I said, the electric jack motors, air conditioning, microwave, awning, solar panel. Remember, those items are not figured into the advertised weight, dry weight of the camper. And remember, it was 1,870 pounds. Doesn't include any of those options. So I think we're going to get a good baseline here. So let's get up on the scale, see what we weigh. Hey everyone, well, we're back from the scales and the results are in, so check this out. Okay, so here's what we got. We've got a steer axle, front axle, came in at 4,160 pounds, and again, this is with the camper, and according to the sticker in the door jamb, the maximum axle, or the gross axle weight rating for the front axle is 4,800 pounds, so we're well within there. See. And what we have on our drive axle is 5,060 pounds. The gross axle weight rating for this particular truck is, again, according to Ford manufacturing, is 6,340 pounds. So we're well within the aft axle weight rating as well. Now, the trailer axle, I asked her about this, the operator at the scales, 20 pounds. She said, since the scales are intended to weigh 18 wheelers, the scale is going to reflect just the weight of the platform, I guess. But she said that's not anything important. So what we have here is a total weight rating of 9,240 pounds. So with the camper, optioned out the way I have it optioned out, full tank of gas, 2 occupants, myself and my girlfriend, and again, the camper optioned out the way it is. And actually, I do have a few items in here, some various, pots and pans, a few articles of clothing, of course, bedding. Got a few items in the bathroom, but nothing too significant. A few things in the kitchen cabinet there. But anyway, we came in at under our 10,000 gross vehicle weight rating, 10,000 pounds. So again, as I've described before, when they build these trucks, Ford anyway, I can't speak on behalf of Dodge and Chevy. I'm a Ford guy. Nothing against Dodge and Chevy, great trucks. I've just always been a Ford guy. What can I say? Runs in the blood, right? But anyway, so when they build these trucks, they set the frame comes as the frame comes. Now, depending on, again, and I've mentioned this in my other gross vehicle weight rating video, that the more options they add, so if you start, like, for example, I have the XL, right? And I have the 6.2 liter gas engine. So that's going to afford me more payload, just because I didn't want a truck completely optioned out. Like, the next level up is XLT, and then it's Lariat, and then King Ranch, and then Platinum, I believe. So the more options you have, the more weight you add to the frame of the truck, and you subtract from the capable payload capacity of that truck. So I went with the XL, and again, it's optioned out quite nicely, and gas engine. And 6.2 liter gas engine has served me well, even with the camper. It pulls great up hills. It likes gas when you're pulling a hill or headwind, but it gets the job done. And again, like I said, I have these different options: microwave, air conditioning, and of course the side awning, and the solar panel, and then of course my electric jack motors. And of course those all add weight to the camper. But now that I've been to the scale and I see that I'm at 9,240 pounds, and again, that's with 2 occupants in the truck, the camper optioned out the way I have it optioned out, and full tank of gas. So I thought that'd make a good baseline. And now anything else we add, like when we fill the water tank, we know that we're going to have about, with a 21-gallon tank, a little over 8 pounds a gallon. You're looking at probably 170 pounds, which would add to the 9240. So that's going to take us up to a neighborhood of, about 9,310 pounds. So we'll know that we have a few extra pounds to play with. Now, I haven't loaded bicycles on yet. I have a bicycle rack that I can mount on the ladder. And so I haven't done any of that. I haven't provisioned it with beer and food and all that good stuff. So again, that's all going to add weight. But the trick is, and the idea is to stay below that 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. And so I'm kind of looking, and I'm happy to see that I'm below the axle weight ratings as well. So well below. So I can afford to add a few more pounds to the aft axle. And when this would come in handy is if I wanted to pull a trailer, because when you hitch up a trailer, you've got to figure in the tongue weight of the trailer is going to be burdened by the frame of the truck. So if you have if you want to pull a trailer, and let's say it's got a 300-pound tongue weight like a boat trailer, then you would probably, provided you didn't, so let's say 300-pound tongue weight, that's going to put us at 9540. So let's say 9600. You still have about 400 pounds to play with as far as loading the camper with provisions. And you're also, even with a 500-pound or 300-pound, sorry, tongue weight, you're still going to be below the gross axle weight rating for the rear axle as well. Now, when it comes to pulling trailers, that's a whole nother set of rules that go with that, simply because you've got to figure not only maintain the tow vehicle within its gross vehicle weight rating, but also there's a gross combined vehicle weight rating to include the weight of the truck, the cargo, and the trailer it's pulling. So all that has to fit into a specific range or rating. And I should also add that they advertise this this particular camper, the Palomino HS 750, as half-ton compatible. But keep in mind, remember the decal, the data plate we looked at outside the camper said that it had a dry weight of 1,870 pounds. Now that means bare bones, right? No options, no microwave, no AC, all that good stuff. And also, there's multiple batteries, so you can actually have multiple batteries. I currently only have the one battery, but there's room for a second. And then I even have a tray, because I got the Badland edition to this camper. I have a battery tray to mount a battery on the outside of the wall in the pickup bed area. So that's all going to add more weight as well. And like I mentioned, with the 6.2 liter gas engine, the reason I chose that engine is because it's the lighter of the three that were available for 2020. The 7.3 liter, great engine, impressive stats, weighs about 180 pounds more. Don't quote me on that. Weighs a few hundred pounds more than the 6.2 liter. And the diesel, the 6.7 liter Power Stroke, wow, that's a beautiful engine. Pull your house off the foundation. It adds about another 600 pounds to the weight of the truck itself. So that's taking away from that 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. So with the diesel, throw diesel in here, automatically add another about 500 pounds, 400 or 500 pounds to that number. So your margin of your room, the room you have to play with gets smaller as far as loading the camper, hitching up a trailer, tongue weights, all that good stuff. So just some things to keep in mind. Oh, and using the scale was actually very easy. You just pull up on the scale, make sure that there's three boxes on the platform divided by yellow lines. So you'd have the steer axle of the tractor trailer, you'd have the rear axles of the tractor trailer, then you'd have the trailer axles. But since I wasn't pulling a trailer today, I just pulled up to the forward two boxes. Just make sure your steer axle is in the first box, and that your drive axle is in the second box, middle box. Then you just hit the attendant call button, and the attendant comes over the PA and lets you know when you're ready. You go in and you pay. It's 13 bucks. So no excuse for not knowing what your weights are when you're going down the road. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope this video helped. If it did, please like and subscribe. Maybe you look like I know what I'm talking about. And anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you down the road.